They're using her for money, and nobody defends her. They turn their backs on her at every single turn.
This sounds like they're trying to prep for life after Caitlyn.
But you cannot call Caitlin Clark fans the dark side of the fandom.
You don't deserve this. This organization does not deserve the golden goose, the cash cow, the head honcho, the needle, the whole cake, not the icing on the cake, in Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve to have her.
They called her the golden goose, the savior, the future of the league. And now, behind closed doors, they want her gone. This isn't speculation anymore. This is the smell of betrayal wafting from the Indiana Fever front office, and it's getting thicker by the day. This isn't just about bad coaching. This isn't just about roster construction. This is a franchise actively sabotaging its own superstar because they don't know how to handle the heat she brings. And now, the warning signs are impossible to ignore.
They are very unappreciative. They want this to be about them. And the fact of the matter is, people don't give a damn about the Indiana Fever. They came here for Caitlin Clark.
This organization didn't earn its spotlight. It inherited it the moment Clark stepped onto the court. Her presence sold out arenas, broke viewership records, brought a whole new generation to the WNBA. And what did she get in return? A locker room politicized. A coach who can't scheme around her talent. And now, beat reporters turning on her fans in public articles as if they are the problem. The setup is underway. The scapegoat is being chosen. And you don't need to be an insider to see where this is heading.
This sounds like they're trying to prep for life after Caitlyn. This sounds like they're trying to build up enough of a brand that they can go their own way. That they're like, you know what, in 20 years' time, it is better off. We are better off building a brand and winning multiple championships than trying to build around one player.
You heard it, not just trade rumors, strategic brand pivoting, a subtle but clear message from within. Caitlin Clark isn't the centerpiece. They are. It's not about her anymore. It's about the system, the culture, the ego. They want to convince you this is some long-term team vision, but it's not vision, it's envy. Because make no mistake, when a player's shadow is bigger than the franchise, the insecure don't step up. They strike.
This organization has done nothing but lie to this young lady. They've done nothing but just scam her, basically. They're using her for money, and nobody defends her.
This isn't sports business as usual. This is betrayal in plain sight. The Indiana Fever rode Clark's wave all the way to national relevance, and now they're steering straight for the rocks. And we're only getting started. The smear campaign? Oh, it's coming, and it's uglier than you think. Stay tuned. It starts quietly, just a whisper, then a headline, a single sentence buried in an article. But if you've followed sports long enough, you recognize the signs. This is a smear campaign, calculated, cowardly, and aimed directly at the fans who dared to support Caitlin Clark too loudly. They couldn't discredit her talent. They couldn't deny her impact. So now, they turn on the people who love her most. Because when a franchise can't control the superstar, they try to poison the well, and it starts with one sentence, designed to divide, to vilify, to reframe the story.
However, there's also a lot of nastiness, almost entirely online, that comes along with that. Just read the comments. It's something they dealt with last season and again this season. The reality is, those who are the loudest aren't Fever or basketball fans. They're only there for Clark. But that dark side can easily seep into a team.
The dark side, that's what they called it. Not heckling from opposing fans, not racist taunts or player harassment. No, the dark side is Clark's supporters. The same people who turned this irrelevant franchise into a national spectacle. Who bought tickets, bought jerseys, elevated the WNBA to a place it's never been before. And now, they're being gaslit. Told they're the problem. Told they're too loud, too critical, too passionate. In other words, too real.
They want Caitlin Clark fans to be quiet and just cough over the bread. Don't voice your opinion, just hand over the money. Don't speak your piece, just sit down on the couch, watch the game, and be happy with whatever you see.
This is a league that never expected accountability. A franchise that thought fan engagement meant blind loyalty, not public criticism. And now that Clark's fans are doing what real sports fans do, holding their team to a standard. They're being cast as villains, as toxic, as disposable, but the hypocrisy is staggering. Because while Clark's supporters are being dragged for booing or tweeting frustrations, the abuse from other fan bases goes unchecked, completely ignored, selectively silenced.
Haven't you guys ever addressed the hate towards Clark, Boston, and Sophie from other fan bases? It's extremely loud, and ignoring it to bash Cece's fan base who pays y'all's bills appears as if you're purposely downplaying Caitlin Clark.
There it is, the truth they won't say out loud. This isn't about protecting players. It's not about keeping the locker room free of noise. It's about silencing a movement they don't control. A fan base that doesn't just watch. They demand better. And in a league too comfortable with mediocrity, that's terrifying. So they smear, they twist, they push a narrative that Clark's presence is somehow divisive, that her popularity is a burden. But let's be clear, without Caitlin Clark, there is no spotlight, no sold-out arenas, no national broadcast deal, no growth, and certainly no Fever identity. What we're witnessing isn't journalism, it's damage control, because the Indiana Fever know exactly what they're doing. They lit the match. Now they're trying to blame the fire on the fans who showed up with torches of support. And still, they haven't even seen the storm that's coming. This goes deeper than media spin. This isn't just a PR disaster, this is a full-blown internal sabotage. A betrayal not just of Caitlin Clark, but of the entire movement she represents. And the fingerprints are all over it. From the sideline to the front office, to the silent whispers making their way into public view. They're laying the groundwork, slowly, methodically. And if you listen closely, it's all there. The subtle shifts, the veiled shots, the coded language trying to convince fans that Caitlin Clark, the player who saved this franchise, is somehow in the way.
Let's be real. Carolyn Peck, Stephanie White's old college coach, a very much person close to Stephanie White, has doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on the Fever being better without Caitlin Clark.
Better without her? That's not analysis. That's an agenda. That's someone with a direct connection to the head coach, pushing a narrative from inside the system. And we're supposed to believe this has no influence on team strategy, on rotations, on chemistry. It's not just careless, it's deliberate. A coaching tree using the media to plant seeds of division. And what's worse? The silence from those who should be defending her.
Management did nothing but lie. They lied to DeWanna Bonner. They promised Natasha Howard a bunch of stuff, and Natasha Howard came out and said it. Oh yeah, they promised me everything I was looking for. And all they've done is lie to Caitlin Clark. Y'all think Indiana Fever is Apple? What a joke.
They promised her support. They sold her a vision. But what they delivered was chaos. Misaligned systems, backdoor narratives, a franchise that feeds off her name in press releases, then questions her value behind the scenes. And when things don't go perfectly, when the team hits a rough stretch, they don't fix the system, they don't take accountability, they point fingers, they let whispers grow.
It just feels like it is a kind of top-down thing of all it is trying to become America's team, trying to become a brand, trying to become all this.
That's the real game here. This isn't about winning championships. This is about marketability, optics, image control. They don't want to build around Clark. They want to leverage her until they think they can survive without her. And that's the most dangerous lie of all, that somehow this team, this once forgotten franchise, is now ready to carry itself without the player who brought it back from irrelevance, that the Fever can be America's team without America's player. But the numbers don't lie. The eyes don't lie. Without Caitlin Clark, this team becomes invisible again. No national spotlight, no full arenas, no viral buzz. And deep down, they know it. That's why they're running scared. That's why they're leaking stories. That's why they're slowly erasing her from their identity before the fans figure out the truth. But the fans already know. They've seen this play before, and they won't let it happen in silence.
This organization does not deserve the golden goose, the cash cow, the head honcho, the needle, the whole cake, not the icing on the cake, in Caitlin Clark. They don't deserve to have her.
The most valuable player this league has ever had. And this team is preparing to let her walk. Why? Because they're terrified of what she represents. a new fan base, a louder voice, a culture that demands more than mediocrity. Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA, she challenged it. She didn't just boost ratings, she changed expectations.
This was an ignorant comment that I can't help but now wonder out loud, did this seep from the bowels of the management and the front office of the Indiana Fever?
Let's not pretend this is just one reporter freelancing nonsense. This is too close, too specific, too convenient. And it has the fingerprints of an organization that wants to pivot without saying it directly. But here's the problem. When the betrayal becomes this obvious, people don't stay silent. They push back.
I took great exception to this. I'm 50 years old. I've watched basketball for 45 freaking years. I am so sick of the media trying to tell me that I'm not a basketball fan because I choose to follow a team because they got a transcendent star.
That's the heart of this story. It's not just about Clark. It's about the way the system responds to anything new, anything powerful, anything that threatens the old order. Clark brought in millions of new eyes. So what did the WNBA do? What did the Fever do? They turned on the people who filled their seats and sold out their merchandise because they weren't the right kind of fans.
Passionate sports fans are not dark, are toxic. I'm just not very nice when I go to criticize.
Exactly. This league begged for attention. It got it. And now it's crying because real fans demand results. Because real fans say things like, fire Stephanie White, or run a real offense. That's not toxic. That's sports. That's passion. That's what Clark brought with her. But if Indiana fumbles this, if they lose her, push her out, or trade her, they won't just lose a player. They'll lose a generation.